Here's the goal. Build the largest box possible. That means the volume. We want to get the largest volume. This is really hard to do upside down. The largest volume. Okay, so first step, cut a square. So you're going to get a piece of paper, and we're going to cut a square out. If you don't know how to make a square, here's how we're going to do it. The standard sheet of paper is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Okay? If you can't read that upside down, turn your computer upside down. Okay, so here we go. I have 8.5 inches right here on this side. If you measure it, you'll be able to determine what 8.5 inches looks like. Okay? So, I'm going to flip this sideways. I'm going to measure 8.5 inches. Put a mark here. Measure 8.5 inches somewhere else, because you need 2 dots to make a straight line. 8.5 inches. And I can connect the 2 dots all the way up and down. And I got myself a square right there. Okay, what you're going to do is cut this off. We don't want this. Okay? Now, if you don't have a ruler and you're like, how in the world am I going to figure out how to do that? It's simple. Fold a piece of paper, like so. Fold it. Make a mark down the side. And guess what? You got 8.5 inches and you got a square. Okay, next thing. Cut it. Okay, we got a square. That was step 1. Step 2. Cut 4 squares in each corner. They're going to each be the same size. And you make them whatever size you want. So, let's make a square. I'm going to do my little ruler here. Now, I got 2 ways to do this, okay? You can use a ruler, or I'll show you a way to do it with folding. Okay, let's say I want to do 2 inches. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to measure 2 inches. Make a mark. 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 And then let's connect our dots and make a square. There we go. We got 1 square in the corner. Now, if you don't have a ruler and you're like, how in the world am I going to make a square? All you need to do is take the corner, fold it, and you can make the square that way. Okay? Now, I need you to make that size square in each one of the corners. Okay? So, you can either start measuring 2 inches, mark, 2 inches, mark, and do that on all 4 sides. Or, I got another way. Take some scissors, cut, cut. Now I got 1 square, and I am going to put it in every single corner, okay? There's 1. And I'm going to make the marks here. There's 2. Make the marks here. There's 3. Okay, I got all 4 corners. I am now going to cut them out. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, I got myself my square that I needed to make, okay? Now, what you're going to do is now make it a box, okay? Now, everyone's box is going to be a different size because they all cut out different corners, right? Everyone's corners should be different sizes. So, now you're going to make a box out of it. Just fold each side, Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Okay. And there's my box. Okay? So what we were trying to do is see who can make the largest box. So we got one more step. Okay, fold it into a box, which we already did, and measure. You gotta measure it. There's no way to measure without your handy dandy ruler. So, let's measure. I'm gonna first measure the length and the width, okay? So, they should be the same length, okay? So, I'm gonna measure it right there. If you can't see what I'm doing, it is just measuring this length right here. Okay, and it looks like my length. And you can do it in, I'm going to say to do it in centimeters. So we're all doing it in the same unit, okay? Centimeters. Measure in centimeters. Okay, here we go. Measuring in centimeters. This length is equal to 11.5 centimeters. 11.5 centimeters. Okay, that means that this side should be the same, okay? Unless I did not cut out squares, then it wouldn't be the same. But my width is the same, 11.5 centimeters. If it's a little off, no big deal. Okay, so look at that. I got a length and a width. They're the same because this is a square, right? I got one more dimension I need to measure. That's the height. So, what I'm trying to measure is that right there. I'm trying to measure the height of the box. Okay, if you want to do it, you can measure it like that when it's put together. So, I put my ruler right there. It is measured at 5 centimeters. So, the height is equal to 5 centimeters. Okay, there we go. Now what you're going to do is type those 3 units, those 3 dimensions, into the Google spreadsheet, okay? If you need to figure out how in the world do you figure out the volume, volume is equal to length times width times height. Length times width times height. So you just measure, you just multiply length times width times height. So I'm going to multiply 11.5 times 11.5 times 5, and I'll get my volume. And let's just do that real quick. Pull over my calculator. 11.5 times 11.5 times 5 equals a volume of a grand total of 661.25 centimeters cubed. That's the volume of my box. Tell me if you got a box that's bigger.